What's good? It's your boy Fanon. Going to talk about the fight that Gervonta Davis had against Jesus Cellular, or excuse me, God, I can't believe I said that name, Cuellar, and what I think that's going to mean for him moving forward. Some things that I really, just to cut to the chase, I think that young man showed a lot of maturity. The interview that he gave after the fight, the things that he said in it, the way that he approached himself leading into the weigh-in, having made weight so comfortably, how good he looked physically in the fight, the talent that he showed in the fight. I'm just back once again, man, thinking that this guy, man, if he continues to go on this route, he's going to be an absolute, he's going to be absolutely the man at 130 pounds. And seeing as he's a whole pound, he made the weight so comfortably and still looks so fast and so strong in the fight, and still looked like he didn't put on a lot of weight when he was actually in the fight. I just think that this kid is going to be incredible, man. I've always said that I thought that he was exceptional in the ring, and it was just the things outside the ring that bothered me. And so anyway, I'm going to talk about that, but I want to thank everybody that attended the live streams that we did during the bouts yesterday. Today is April 22nd. The fights were yesterday, April 21st, Saturday, April 21st. And we had pretty much, man, it was a lot of people on the live stream. It was a lot of fun. We had really good conversations it was like 5 hours, 6 hours of boxing. And, we talked about the fights pretty much round by round from the first to the end. So thank you everybody for showing up and, supporting the channel. Also, I want to thank everybody that supported in the super chat and Venmo. Definitely appreciate you. And I would definitely hope that anybody listening new to the channel, listening to this video, would attend the live streams. Best way to do that is to subscribe and hit the bell icon. And you can be notified. If you hit the bell icon, make sure you select to get all the notifications. Otherwise, you'll get them occasionally, and you might not know when we do them. You'll get some, you won't get others. So with the feature on the YouTube right now, you got to make sure that you select all notifications. But I hope that you accept my invite to attend those, and so that's what that is. Now, let me first talk about Gervonta Davis in the fight, and compare him to Adrian Bronner. Now, as we know, a lot of people remember the history of Gervonta Davis. Man, Gervonta Davis he's had 4 straight knockouts. He knocked everybody out that he fought last year. In Jose Pedraza when he won the IBF belt. Then he proceeded to knock out Liam Walsh. And then after that, he proceeded to knock out Francisco Fonseca. Now, Francisco Fonseca, since he lost his title on the scale, because he didn't make weight, he lost his title on the scale. And then when he fought Francisco Fonseca, he wound up getting the knockout, but then the way that he carried himself after he knocked him out, kind of, dancing over the top of him and doing, kind of silly stuff like that. It really left a bad taste in the mouth of a lot of people who watched Gervonta Davis. But what he did yesterday this weekend was the polar opposite of that. Now, he won the WBA super title. And for people that don't know, there's 2 belts for the WBA, the World Boxing Association, in a lot of weight divisions, there's 2 belts. There's the super belt, which is the highest champion. That's the major championship belt. And then there is the WBA regular belt, which is a secondary belt. So he wound up fighting, and I don't understand how this happened, because from any type of fairness, he would be fighting. Gervonta Davis should have been fighting for the regular title, because Cuellar was not. That was his first fight at that weight, at 130 pounds, and he was coming off of a loss. So the fact that Gervonta Davis was fighting for this fighting for a major championship belt last night was very, very suspect. But hey, man, that's not on him, and that's on his promoter. Well, actually, it's not even on the promoter. That's on the WBA. The WBA let that slide, so it is what it is. Now he's got I think he's the youngest guy to win 2 major championship belts. Or I think he might be the youngest guy to regain it. But regardless, he's now won the WBA title, and he's won the IBF, and at a point he won the IBF title. From my understanding, and what I'm hoping he'll do next is that he'll fight the winner of Billy Dibb versus Tevin Farmer, who are now going to fight for the vacant IBF title after Ogawa was stripped for testing positive in the test. I don't know if it was a test before the fight with Tevin Farmer or whatever, but pretty much I think that Ogawa got a gift anyway to get it to begin with, and to have him test positive, man, that's just doubly whack. But Tevin Farmer and Billy Dibb are going to fight for the IBF belt, and I hope after that we're going to get a major, championship unification between Gervonta Davis and either Billy Dibb or Tevin Farmer. Personally, I don't think it'll make a difference. I think Gervonta Davis will beat either one of those guys. And then you'll have Gervonta Davis holding the IBF and the WBA title. And if he continues to be as disciplined as he was, I can see that happening. So, but in the ring, I'm telling you, man, this young man is a mega talent. I mean, he hit Cuellar so hard, it looked like, and Cuellar is a good fight, man. I did a prediction ahead of it. I watched the videos. I watched the fights of Cuellar. And this guy could fight, man. This is a rugged, tough fighter who tried to come at Gervonta Davis. But Gervonta Davis, man, every time he tried to come in and he tried to get busy with him, Gervonta Davis's body shots, just those quick, hard body shots, had that dude bent over looking like he was about to cry. And so the thing that I love about Gervonta Davis as a fighter, I love the fact that this dude can stay in the pocket. His defensive reflexes, are ultra. Either Cuellar is super slow, and I don't think that's the case. I just think, and Cuellar loops his punches a little bit, but it was just like Gervonta Davis could see any and everything coming. He reacted to it, and he reacted to it in 2 ways. He could either get out of range. He was fleet-footed enough just to get all the way out of range, and he was able to fight and counter him from mid-range, and he was able to get in close enough, get inside the pocket on him, and he just went from the outside to mid-range to fighting in the pocket seamlessly, and his counter punches were just killer. But the body shots, more than anything, man, that dude, to see a guy at 130 pounds that is a vicious body puncher, and I'm not talking about like an accumulation of punching type of body puncher where they just punch, they're trying to wear you down gradually, body shots. I'm talking about dude that hit you with one body shot and crumple you. One body shot and crumple you. That is something, man. This dude has got exceptional power at 130 pounds, man. And it wasn't even like I say, it's not even the headshots with Cuellar that had Cuellar on. He wasn't even on dizzy seat. He was just bent over, looking like he wanted to cry, man. It was, hey, man, Gervonta Davis really showed it in the ring. The thing that I really liked about him as well, I said this earlier, is what he said after the fight. What he said after the fight about commenting on what had happened to him earlier last year, saying that basically things had gone to his head. And he needed to change the situation where he could get with Kevin Cunningham. He got with Kevin Cunningham. He woke up in the morning and he knew what he was going to be doing. He was going to be boxing. And he was going to box, train all day, and he was going to go to sleep. And the next morning he was going to get up, and he knew what he was going to do then. He was going to box. He was going to work. He's going to work, train all day. He's going to go sleep, and he was going to wake up again. And the fact that this guy acknowledged the need that his ego had gotten to him, that he had felt like he had already made it. At least that's, I'm paraphrasing what he's saying, right? But feeling as if he had already made it because he had big money in his pockets. This young man has made he made well over $1 million in 2017 because he fought Jose Pedraza. He had a $900,000 payday against Fonseca, Francisco Fonseca. He had a $600,000 payday against Liam Walsh. I'm not sure what he got for Pedraza, but if he got $300,000 for that, that's $2 million to win in a year. This young man is now sitting with a nice amount of dough, more dough than most people make in their entire lives. And so he's the toast of the town in Baltimore. It's real easy for you to think that you've made it because for the most part he did. As long as he watches his money and he takes care of his business, man, this guy is, after last fight, I'm not sure how much he made this fight for Cuellar, but man, that young man might be in a situation where he never has to work again. So that's not, when you get that type of money and you've made it, you've made it financially, you've made a big dent financially. I think it's really easy to rest on your laurels and not train, not be focused. And and it showed. But for the fact that he would come out and admit it, that's something that I didn't think I'd see that from Gervonta Davis. And I'm pleasantly surprised. I thought with all of I'm pleasantly surprised, more than happy to be wrong. When he was going back and forth with Deontay Wilder, going back and forth with Jamal Charlo, he's even going back and forth with his own promoter, right? Where I assume that he was talking about Floyd Mayweather Jr., but talking about his promoter and all the stuff about having made it by himself and, having been forced to, fight for a title shot too early, all of that stuff. I thought the cat, like a lot of people thought, man, the question is this guy going to be the next big thing or is he going to be, the next Adrian Bronner? Was him going down there to train with Adrian Bronner, was that going to be a mistake? Was Adrian Bronner going to rub off on him in the wrong way? And those are all reasonable questions. But the way that he responded in the fight, but most importantly, the way he responded after the fight, it really showed that this kid is back on track, and it looked spectacular. Now, what's going on for him next? There's the conversations about the fights with Lomachenko. And I do think, now this is just me, right? What Tank Davis said was that, if the fight was pay-per-view next against Lomachenko, then yeah, man, he'd want to do it. If it was on pay-per-view, he'd want to take Lomachenko next. But if it's not on pay-per-view, then he wants to go for unify. I think what he said was he wants to unify and take on Tevin, the winner of the IBF belt, and go get his belt back. At least that's my understanding of what he said. And I can respect that. I can respect that. If Lomachenko now is on 135 pounds at lightweight, and he's fighting Jorge Linares after that, we don't know what's going to happen with the Jorge Linares fight. But with Lomachenko and Jorge Linares, I believe that's a big step up for Lomachenko. And Lomachenko's been through a lot of fights lately where, definitely the last 3 fights where he's just had massive, massive advantages on the guys he got in the ring with. Now, in Sosa, who, I'll say it again, man, I think he's a marginal fighter. I think the dude's pretty much a journeyman. And then Miguel Mariaga is a 126-pounder coming off a loss. And Guillermo Rigondeaux is a guy from 2 weight classes below, who had only fought a couple rounds in 2 years. So an older guy too, whether you say that he's 38 or 40 or whatever, man. So this is a big step up for Lomachenko. Not saying that Lomachenko can't handle Jorge Linares, because I think that he can handle Jorge Linares, and I would favor him to win Jorge Linares, fight against Jorge Linares. But if Tank is saying, look, I'll fight Lomachenko if it's pay-per-view. But other than that, man, this dude has a good shot to unify belts at 130 pounds. I mean, I would love to see him do that. I mean, personally, the first guy I think he should unify with is take on Machado, who I think Alberto Machado really should be the WBA super champ. I mean, he beat Grizel Corrales, who was the super champ. I know that Corrales got stripped on, he like Tank lost his belt on the scale by missing weight. I think he was just like a fraction. It's 100. I think he might even weighed in at 133 pounds. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what the weight is that he weighed in at, but he was the super champ. And when Machado beat him, hey man, in my opinion, he should have become the WBA super champion. I thought he was the WBA super champion. I know I saw it different places, but when I heard the announcement that Gervonta Davis was fighting for it, I went and looked, and I'm like, wow, this guy Machado is the regular champion. He's not listed as the super champion. So now Gervonta Davis I would love to see him clean that up with Machado. If he can clean that up with Machado, then if he goes and fights the WBO guy, whether that's Tevin Farmer or Billy Dibbs, and then you got a really good fight with Miguel Berchelt. Now, I'm going to tell you, man, the fight that's the fight that I would really love to see, because I do think that Cuellar was a step up in competition level. He's definitely better than Fonseca, better than Walsh, better than Jose Pedraza. I mean, that was a step up, even though he was moving up in class. I mean, up in weight. It still was a step up in class for Gervonta Davis. But to see him, I hope now that he takes the next step, get the winner, stay active, fight the winner of Dibb versus Tevin Farmer. Forgive me, Tevin Farmer. And then if not Machado, then Miguel Berchelt. Then the only other belt there is the WBO. And I have a suspicion that the WBO is not, that Lomachenko's not going to come back down. I think Lomachenko's going to be at 135. So that fight if Tank Davis wanted to fight Lomachenko, that's going to have to be at 135. I would want him to unify and do those things at 130, unify at 130 before he goes to 135. Now, whether or not the Lomachenko fight can be pay-per-view or not, we can argue. People can debate that or not. Personally, I don't think it is. I wouldn't want to, and I don't want it to be pay-per-view just because I don't see why I as a consumer would be interested in ensuring that a fight doesn't happen until I have to pay, till I have to come out of my pocket for an extra $70. I'm not excited about that, man. I'm not excited about the prospect of that. Now, if Gervonta Davis is saying, hey man, I want a major payday, I can understand that. And if he wants to do that, that's going to happen at 135 pounds. And that might be something that could be a pay-per-view fight if it's at 135 pounds, and I don't want it to be a pay-per-view. I'm just saying if Gervonta Davis was able to put the work in, and shout out to my man Black Fight Fan TV, who said the same thing on his live stream about it. If Gervonta Davis was willing to put in the work and do basically the same things that I laid out, get the WBO belt, get the WBC belt, get the IBF belt, get the WBA regular champion out of the way in Machado. He's able to do that in impressive fashion. And at the same time, Lomachenko's able to actually step up and he take care of some business. Like if he's able to beat Linares, who's the WBA champion, he's able to beat Mikey Garcia, Robert Easter. And if Ray Beltran's a guy, if he's able to unify, then that is something that's major where you have Gervonta Davis moving up there. That could possibly be a pay-per-view thing. But at the end of the day, man, it's going to take, for Gervonta Davis, it's going to take more of what we just saw from him. and that training camp he had with Kevin Cunningham and Adrian Bronner, and I'm sure that Devin Alexander, who I hear is going to be training for a fight with Berto, if those guys stay in the gym, stay hungry, man, those things can happen, man. Good things can happen. With that, I'm out. Peace.